Hello everyone, welcome to lecture 1 of CIN603, and in this lecture we'll be looking at the introduction of system analysis and system design. The objectives of this particular lecture is: 1, we will discuss the impact of information technology on business strategy and success. 2, define an information system and describe its components. 3, explain how the internet has affected business strategies and relationships. 4, define various types of information systems and explain who uses them. 5, distinguish between structured analysis, object-oriented analysis, and agile methods. 6, compare the traditional waterfall model with agile methods and models. 7, apply 5 basic guidelines for systems development. And finally, we will be looking at discuss the role of information technology department and the system analysis. Introduction. Companies use information as a weapon in the battle to increase productivity, deliver quality products and services, maintain customer loyalty, and make sound decisions. Information technology can mean the difference between success and failure. Now, information is a very key weapon in a modern day business. It can fight many business battles, that of which begins at the very doorstep of a business that is making basic and key decisions. Example, when a product is not doing well for an organization, what can be done? What can the organization do to ensure that the product starts doing well? Is there any marketing needed, or are there any need for better staff to rejuvenate the product? Now, this is where information technology comes in and plays a very key role. With information technology, information can be analyzed, it can be assessed, it can be evaluated, and key decisions can be made. The impact of information technology. Information technology, or IT, as we call it in the simple terms, is a combination of hardware and software products and services that companies use to manage, access, communicate, and share information. The future. 3 issues that will shape the future: changes in the world, changes in technology, changes in client demand. As we live in a very modern world of technology, we do see these things happening, especially things that are noted that will change the future. We see changes in the world, either prior to COVID-19 or post-COVID-19. We see changes in technology and how technology is affecting our day-to-day lives. And likewise, there is an increased demand by the clients on certain products and services. And due to these reasons, IT, or information technology, has started to play a key role in the world and in many organizations. The impact of information technology, system analysis and design. System analysis and design is basically a step-by-step process for developing high-quality information systems. System analysis, someone who plans, develops, and maintains information systems. Now, if we have to broadly have a look at who a system analyst is, now a system analyst, it can be a person within an organization who is technically sound and qualified with technical skills. Moreover, this person will continually assess and evaluate all business processes. He or she would plan, develop, maintain information systems to ensure all business needs and requirements are concurrently met. The impact of information technology. Who develops information systems? In-house applications, software packages, internet-based application services, outsourcing, custom solutions, enterprise-wide software strategies, how versus what. Now, when you look at in-house applications, these are the examples where the application or the information system is built within the organization by a team of good and technically sound programmers. Software packages are those packages which are sold off the shelf, and generally you may find them being supported by many organizations. For example, in Fiji, we have data catering for many of the information systems. We have organizations like UXC Eclipse that takes care of information systems services to most of the organizations. Internet-based application services, these are the information systems or software applications that are subscribed or bought off the internet. Outsourcing would be a very good example of how an organization would gain access to an information system which is based in another country. For instance, Fiji National University, this is just for an example, Fiji National University may be using a software package which has been developed by an organization in the United States of America. Custom solutions. This is very much familiar and common to outsourcing, but what happens is generally the developing organizations would try to come into a recipient organization. They will assess how the organization works, what are all the processes that are involved, and try to come up with a application software or an information system specifically designed for the recipient organization. Enterprise-wide software strategies. When we talk about enterprise-wide software strategies, the common type of information system that should come in our minds is ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. So with ERPs, what they do is they try to accumulate all the processes of the organization and then try to process data in a single software. Now, the main question is how versus what? How would you do it? And what would you need for your organization? Information system components. A system is a set of related components that produces specific results. A mission-critical system is one that is vital to a company's operations. Data consists of basic facts that are the system's raw material. Information is data that has been transformed into output that is valuable to users. Information systems have 5 key components: hardware, software, data, processes, and people. Now, information systems, what they do is they produce specific results. Mainly these results are to meet the needs and the requirements of an organization's strategic goals. Strategic goals are all those goals that are supposed to derive long-term aims, missions, and goals for an organization. Mission critical systems are all those systems and operations that are essential for an organization. Finally, we have a look at data versus information. Data are basically raw facts and figures that are attained or entered into a system. Information is that very same data that has been entered into the system is now being processed and comes out as something meaningful or valuable to the users. Let's have a look at the system components in the next few slides. Information system components. So we've learned earlier that there are 5 components. So you have hardware, software, data, processes, and people. So hardware is the physical layer of the information system. Software are basically the system software, application software, and enterprise applications. When you talk about hardware, we're basically talking about all the tangible items of a computer system. Things you could touch, things you could feel, things you could see with your eyes. Now, generally for information systems, you need much more bigger specification-based computing systems. For example, a server, for example, a router, for example, a firewall, and so forth. Now, software in information systems come in 3 basic forms. You have a system software that is required to run your computer system. Application software are those kind of software that basically fulfills the needs and wants of the users. And then you have enterprise applications, which is also part of application software. So enterprise applications are all those software that is specifically developed to meet the business needs of an organization. Information system components, software, continued. So we have two more types of softwares. You have horizontal system software and vertical system software. Now, legacy systems or old system is in just given there so that you are able to know what those are. When you talk about legacy, those are the type of the system that has become very old or has been used by the organization for a long period of time. Now, why are legacy systems important? Legacy systems may be important to an organization because it holds data of previous records, of previous processes, or of previous users. A horizontal system, on the other hand, is a system such as an inventory or payroll application that is adapted for use in many different types of companies. Now, horizontal software, it can be used by many different types of organizations. So these are more of common software systems. A vertical system is designed to meet the unique requirements of a specific business or industry. Example, a software that is designed for a medical practitioner or a software designed for a web-based retailer. So vertical systems, they are supposed to meet the unique requirements of an organization. Processes. Processes describes the tasks and business functions that users, managers, and IT staff members perform to achieve specific results. People are stakeholders, users, or end users. Now, processes, these are all the functions, or these are all the step-by-step events that takes place in an organization and are generally performed by the people within the organization. Now, when we talk about people being part of an information system or component of an information system, these may be in terms of stakeholders. A stakeholder is basically an individual who holds stake in the business. When we talk about stake, it's more about a person having interest in an organization. For example, you have people within the organization and people outside the organization. Understanding the business. To understand the business, three things must be learned: business process modeling, business profile, and business models. So when we talk about business process modeling or business process model, this is a graphical display of one or more business processes, such as handling an airline reservation, filling a product order, or updating a customer account. A business profile, on the other hand, is an overview of a company's mission, functions, organization, products, services, customers, suppliers, competitors, constraints, and future direction. A business process itself, or a business profile, is a specific set of transactions. Pardon me, a business process is a specific set of transactions, events, and results that can be described and documented. Understanding the business. So new kinds of companies have been introduced and injected into the economy. So you have production oriented, we have service oriented, internet dependent, you have .com, and then brick and mortar. Now, product-oriented firms are those who manufacture things. Example, manufacture computers, routers, or the microchips. Service-oriented companies include vendors, software developers, and service providers. Internet-dependent firm, often described as a .com business, is a company that primarily does business and depends on the internet rather than the traditional business channel. A very good example of internet dependent or .com business would be Google, Yahoo, Amazon, and eBay. Brick and mortar. These are the companies that conduct their businesses through physical locations. and where there is no web presence. For example, the supermarkets that you find in the town areas or in the general town centers. Impact of the internet. So the internet and the information technology had certain impact on how business would operate. And through this impact came in electronic commerce or e-commerce, business to commerce, pardon me, business to consumer, business to business. With the business to business came in EDI, electronic data interchange, extensible markup language, XML, supply chain management, SCM, supplier relationship management, SRM. So if you look at these examples, what could be some of the possible examples of e-commerce, business to consumer, and business to business type of organizations? If I have to answer this, I would state something as such. E-commerce, a very good example would be VTCart. They buy and sell things online. Business to consumer, a very good example would be what Tapu Group is doing here in Fiji. Business to business, so if I have to feed an example of electronic data interchange, this is how most of the suppliers work with the supermarkets here in Fiji. So businesses electronic transfer data to each other, example, Ashabai to the supermarkets. Business information systems. In the past, IT managers divided systems into categories based on the user group the system served. So the groups were such: office systems or admin staff, operational systems or operational personnel, decision support system, middle management, and EIS, executive information systems, the top level management. So this is how it used to be in the past. So if we have to come to the modern era, this is how it is. Today, identify a system by its function and features rather than its users. So you have enterprise computing systems or enterprise information systems, transaction processing systems, business support systems, knowledge management systems, user productivity systems. So let's have a look at these examples in the next few slides. So if we look at enterprise computing systems, so they support company-wide operations and data management requirements. It's also known as enterprise resource planning or ERP. Many hardware and software vendors target the enterprise computing market. So with ERP or enterprise computing systems, what it does, it provides support to the organization company-wide, not at a single function in the organization, but the overall business. Business information systems. So the next type of information system that we'll be looking at is TPS or transaction processing system. Involve large amounts of data and are mission critical systems. Efficient because they process a set of transaction related commands as a group rather than individually. So transaction processing systems generally records day-to-day transactions of a business. Business support systems provide job-related information to users at all levels of a company. Management information system or radio frequency identification, RFIDs. So when we talk about business support system, the common type of business support system we have available in organizations these days is management information systems. So the key role of management information systems is to assist the users of the information system in the organizations to make key and critical decision making. Knowledge information systems, also called expert systems, simulate human reasoning by combining a knowledge base and inference rules. Many knowledge management systems use a technique called fuzzy logic. So with knowledge management systems is just like the way of saying that you have a very knowledgeable person in the organization and he or she knows almost each and everything in the organization. But in this case, instead of a person, you have a computerized system. Now, the question is, how is the knowledge recorded in these computer systems? So the knowledge is when it basically entered into the system. It may be through previous records, it may be through typing records, it may be through scanning reports, or it may be through records entered or having it in the legacy systems. User productivity systems, technology that improves productivity. Example, groupware. A very good example of technology that improves productivity are productivity softwares. For instance, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or Access. This is an example of a groupware as it comes in a packaged software. Now, what do? They basically improve the productivity of an organization. Information systems integration. Most large companies require systems that combine transaction processing, business support, knowledge management, and user productivity features. So when we look at information systems integration, what it does is all the singular departments in an organization is integrated or joined together and decisions are made as a whole. A very good example of it would be an ERP system. What information do users need? So for top managers, the types of information they generally need is strategic. When we talk about strategic, it's more likely saying something of long-term goals. For middle managers, the type of information that they need is tactical. Tactical decisions that allow them to make good, critical, and keen decisions. For supervisors and team leaders, they also need tactical decision making. For operational employees or employees at the ground level, they need operational information. So these operational information are all those types of information that help them to conduct business on a day-to-day basis. System development tools, modeling, business model, requirements model, data model, object model, network model, and process model. Now, these are the different types of models that are basically being used when developing a system. The purpose of a model is to visualize the information system, especially the flow of data and information within the organization, or to have a good feel and view at the expected results. Another word that we could efficiently use for modeling is called prototype. Now, prototype basically speeds up the development process significantly. Important decisions might be made too early before business or IT issues are thoroughly understood. Can be extremely valuable to an organization, therefore an extremely valuable tool. Now, prototype is a miniature version for the actual system. The very basic reason to have a prototype, it detects problems and issues right at a very early stage in the development phase. Prototypes come with advantages and disadvantages. Some of the advantages of using prototypes may include it is easy to detect errors. We can find missing functionality easily. There is scope of refinement. It means new requirements can be easily accommodated. It can be reused by the developer for more complicated projects in the future. It ensures a greater level of customer satisfaction and comfort. It helps developers and users both understand the system better. Integration requirements are very well understood and deployment channels are decided at a very early stage. It can actively involve users in the development phase. So these are some of the advantages. To look at the disadvantages or cons of using prototype, firstly, it can be costly. It has poor documentation because of continuously changing customer requirements. Since prototypes are miniature or early versions of an information system or an actual system, there's a likely chance things may be implemented every now and then. So due to the continuously changing customer requirements, the documentation often ends up being poorly documented. There may be too much variations in the requirements. Customer sometimes demands the actual product to be delivered soon after seeing an early prototype. Customers may not be satisfied or interested in the product after seeing the initial prototype. There is certainty in determining the number of iterations. There may be incomplete or inadequate problem analysis. There may be an increase in the complexity of the system due to forever changing requirements. Another system development tool that is actively being used in the design of a software is CASE tools. CASE stands for Computer-Aided Software Engineering. Can generate program code which speeds the implementation process. Now, CASE is the implementation of computer-facilitated tools and methods in software development. CASE is used to ensure a high-quality and defect-free software. CASE ensures a checkpointed and disciplined approach and helps designers, developers, testers, managers, and others to see the project milestones during the development. Structured analysis, systems development lifecycle. It is a predictive approach, uses a set of process models to describe a system graphically. Process-centered technique, waterfall model. Now, what structured analysis does, it describes an information system graphically. A common example is the waterfall model of a SDLC process that is used by many organizations these days. So generally, structured analysis follows a SDLC model and includes 5 steps: system planning, system analysis, system design, systems implementation, systems support, and security. Look at the very first stage or very first phase is systems planning. System planning, the major result that needs to be derived is a systems request. So system request begins the process and describes problems or desired changes. Purpose of this phase is to perform a preliminary investigation. Key part of preliminary investigation is a feasibility study. So what is a preliminary investigation? The purpose of the preliminary investigation is to determine whether the problem or deficiency in the current system actually exists or not. System analysis. System analysis, the deliverable is the system requirements document. With system analysis, the problems detected in the earlier phase, system planning is analyzed and requirements are gathered for the proposed system. System design, deliverable is system design specification. Management and user involvement is critical. System design, as per the system requirements attained in the previous stage, in this case, system analysis stage, a logical design is done. So the requirements is analyzed further and a logical design is been done. System implementation, new system is constructed. System implementation, the logical design is transformed into a physical system. That is, the construction of the design system takes place. Systems support and security. A well-designed system must be secure, reliable, maintainable, and scalable. Most information systems need to be updated significantly or replaced after several years of operation. In general terms, when you look at system support and security, it could be renamed as systems maintenance. This is where the system is maintained and ensures that the system operates swiftly to meet the needs of the organization and the users as whole. Agile methods are the newest development, emphasize continuous feedback, iterative development. Agile method is basically a SDLC approach whereby the system is designed and it is churned around the organization for continuous feedback. So as the feedbacks come in and if a need arises for a system to be redeveloped, it goes through a iterative development process. In other words, it is developed repeatedly unless and until all the users, all the needs and the wants of the organization is fulfilled. There are various pros and cons of agile method. So the pros: faster time to market, testing and superior quality product because of the iterative development phase, flexible priorities, risk reduction, project visibility and transparency, empowering the team, focus on end users, higher client satisfaction. The cons or the disadvantages may include limitation documentation and changing documentation, fragmented output, organization of production into different stages, no finite end, and it's difficult to measure. Other development methods include JAD and RAD, joint application development, and rapid application development, which will be discussed more broadly in the next few sets of our lectures in weeks to come. System development guidelines. First of all, develop a system plan. Involve users and listen carefully to them. Use project management tools to identify tasks and milestones. Develop accurate costs and benefit information. Remain flexible. So these are the common guidelines that are used while system development takes place. So in an organization, especially in the information technology department, these are some of the very common personnel involved. So the person leading the team is the IT department director or director ICT or information technology. So the personnel who report to director IT is application development team, the system support and security team, user support team, database administration team, network administration team, web support, and quality assurance team. Now, it's not surprising that many of the structures is now being used here in Fiji. If you have a very large organization such as banks, universities, moreover, these organizations, the structure, what is displayed on the screen is very well practiced. System analysis, responsibilities, translates business requirements into IT projects. In simple terms, whatever things that are required by the organization and its users, it's being manipulated and evaluated into IT projects. Knowledge, skills, and education. A system analyst is one who needs good technical knowledge, strong oral and communication skills, and analytic ability. An analytic ability that is an understanding of business operations and critical thinking skills. Chapter summary. IT refers to the combination of hardware and software resources that companies use to manage, access, communicate, and share information. The essential components of an information system are hardware, software, data, processes, and people. Successful companies offer a mix of products, technical and financial services, consulting, and customer support. Information systems are identified as enterprise computing systems, transaction processing systems, business support systems, knowledge management systems, or user productivity systems. Organization structure includes top managers, middle managers, and knowledge workers, supervisors, and team leaders. The IT department develops, maintains, and operates a company's information systems. System analysts need a combination of technical and business skills and knowledge, analytical ability, and communication skills. System analysis need to consider salary, location, and future growth potential when making a career decision. I thank you all for listening to our lecture one, and I hope that you have understood the syllabus. Should there be any questions or queries, please feel free to ask questions via Moodle messages, emails, or you may ask in class. Thank you.